The political battle lines have been drawn over the future of public broadcasting, with National coming out strongly against a plan to create one public broadcaster to replace RNZ and TVNZ. RNZ has been leaked details of the plan as the government grapples with the best way to shore up the media industry under siege from online giants like Google and Facebook. The government won't confirm any details, but it's not resiling from its determination to make substantial changes. Our political editor, Jane Patterson, has the story.
The pressure's been mounting for the government to address the challenges facing the beleaguered media industry. Recent news that MediaWorks' TV arm is up for sale and that TVNZ expects to post a $17 million annual loss just ratcheted up that pressure. An advisory group, including RNZ, TVNZ and a range of public sector agencies, has concluded the status quo is unsustainable. It's recommending the creation of a whole new entity with statutory editorial independence and a public service mandate, funded by both the Crown and commercial revenue. The Broadcasting Minister, Chris Farfoy, a former TVNZ reporter, was giving nothing away at Parliament today.
I am not going to go into any detail until I've had this discussion with my Cabinet colleagues and made a decision. At the moment, we've made no secret that we're looking at it. Once a decision is made, I'll answer some of those questions.
The proposal could be considered by Cabinet within weeks, but National's leader Simon Bridges says the government lacks the mandate to make such a major change.
A combined state broadcaster would be worrying for New Zealand. I think it'd be far too powerful, and that's bad for democracy. I mean, look, where it took an editorial line, and it inevitably would, that would become the received wisdom, if you like.
Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern says leaving public broadcasting as it is not an option.
I think ultimately the choice is either we make decisions that bolster public broadcasting or we choose to do nothing. And I don't think doing nothing is an option.
Peter Thompson from Better Public Media says forcing RNZ and TVNZ together could create some fundamental problems.
I'd be extremely cautious about the proposal to fund the new entity by a mixed commercial public funding system, because I think there are distinctive functions between the commercial side and the public service side, and putting them together hasn't worked too well in the past.
Jacinda Ardern was asked if Labour would campaign on any major change.
We already campaigned on a platform of public broadcasting, and I think what we're seeing now demonstrates why that's important.
Simon Bridges says any change should only be made with bipartisan support.
So that it is an enduring set of solutions. And look, if it's not, I think that National would need to consider unwinding a solution it disagreed with if it was in office.
The New Zealand First MP Jenny Marcroft says there are some fundamental issues her party's discussing with the Broadcasting Minister.
What do we do to ensure our public broadcasters remain in a position where they are relevant, that they are providing news that is trustworthy, and that they hold powers to be to account, and that's their role as the fourth estate, and those are the discussions that we've been having over the last little while.
The Greens co-leader James Shaw says his party is open to some change.
We haven't settled on a position yet, but the priority, and this will come as no great surprise hearing this from the Greens, is that we've always thought that good public interest, news and information is really critically important. So interested to see what the options are.
So you're open to some reform or changes in this sector?
Yeah, look, obviously the media is under huge pressure, and I don't need to tell you that, right? And has been for some time, and that trend is continuing. So it is going to require, some intervention.
Peter Thompson says there are still several key questions about how the new entity would work.
Whether or not you create a single entity in a single building, whether you keep the current dispersed offices across the country. There are all sorts of logistical and governance questions that might have financial implications, and it's impossible to cost that before we've actually seen the blueprint.
Neither RNZ nor TVNZ would make any comment today about the proposal. If the plan does get the go-ahead, a business case and other details like timeframe and cost would be finalised next year. From Parliament for Checkpoint, Jane Patterson.